Now, I am reviewing the movie called The Affair. It's a Tubi movie, and it's actually, the actors are actually pretty decent, as it stands for Tubi. And the movie was made in 2023. It's about an hour and 33 minutes, and it's a pretty decent movie. So let me start all over again because that was so crazy. I can't believe 10 minutes of reviewing a movie. Okay, so the first scene in the movie starts in a congregation. I start in a church, okay? And as the church, the pastor is sitting here talking about the importance of honor and all this other kind of stuff. You pan out to the congregation and you see two women, the first lady and another woman. They're both extremely pregnant. So as the scene progresses, he's saying goodbye. It's the end of his preaching, and he's saying goodbye to the congregation and the meet and greet. And as they're getting ready to come up and they're leaving, they're saying thank yous to pastor. The woman who was pregnant, the second woman, she comes up. But as she's coming up, the pastor's wife goes into labor. So he takes his wife out to the hospital. Now, the friend and the other woman, the side chick, is like feeling some type of way about this. Like, the side chick is like, well, she's probably faking it. She's probably not going into labor for real. And as she's complaining, lo and behold, she ends up going into labor too. So then cuts to another scene where the husband and the wife is now in the delivery room and she's giving birth. The other woman is in the same hospital in another delivery room and she's giving birth too. So these two women who's pregnant by the pastor, the wife and the side chick, both in the same hospital giving birth. So the wife doesn't know anything about the other woman, but that's fine. It is what it is. So say hi. Okay, hi. How are you? Thank you. You too. Thank you so much. So he's in there and he's... No, I have two. Thank you. Okay. So I'm just glad I seen the second one. That's funny. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome in. I'm reviewing a Tubi movie. So if you're interested, please stick around for the review because the movie is insane. It's called The Affair. And pretty much everybody cheating up in this movie. It's insane. So the husband is in the room with his wife as she's giving birth. After she gives birth, she names the baby after the husband. So as she's in the room, the husband gets a text. It's a text from the side chick, and she's sending him a picture of her and the new baby that she just had in the other room. So the wife doesn't realize this. She's just thinking that it's somebody in the congregation who gave birth, and she's thinking, oh, this is really nice. You know, she's just kind of, letting you know, I guess, like the pastor know that she gave birth or whatever. So that's cool. So he goes ahead and he's like, yeah, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. But he's just like, yeah, but back to our child, back to us. So then he gets up and he leaves, and you see the next scene where he's in the other room, the side chick's room, and he's flipping out on her as she's in the bed, talking about, what's your problem? And he called the baby it. I don't even know if it's mine. That's exactly how he was saying. And so then, thank you so much for subscribing. So as he's saying this, she's like, that's your baby, that's your child. So he's all upset and frustrated, like, my wife is in the other room. Why would you send that text? Don't be texting me. And she was like, I just had your child. He said, look, I don't care about that. Yeah, he told her that. So the nurse, who I'm sure probably knew what was going on because she probably was in both rooms and seen him in both rooms. You know how that go. So she says, so what are we calling this beautiful baby? And she, of course, names the baby after the pastor too. Yes, now mind you, his son was just named after him like 2 seconds ago. Now the second baby's named after him too. They're all in the same church, so of course the wife is going to eventually figure out what's going on. But I digress. So he's snapping on her, but it's nothing he can do. So then you cut, he leaves. Okay. So the friend is like, girl, what are you doing? That makes no sense. She's all in her feelings, and you could tell that the woman is not all there. But sometimes I be wondering, it seems like that's the ones that they be wanting to cheat with, the ones who they feel is not all there, but it's kind of detrimental to your health. Greetings, how are you today? So as he goes ahead and into the next scene, she brings, the side chick brings the baby to the church, and she brings the baby to the back to introduce the baby to who? That's right, the wife. So as the wife is like, oh, praise him. Oh, he's a beautiful baby, this, that, and the third. She says, what's his name? And of course, she tells him the name is after the pastor. And the wife is like, isn't that kind of weird? Isn't that kind of weird? She says to the husband, and he's like, oh, she just might really think that that's a good name for a God-fearing man, so she wanted to name her child that. And the wife goes for it. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I can't even believe she went for it, but she did. So fine. Okay. So next thing you know, the wife is at home and she's chilling at home and the husband's chilling. And he's saying, I miss you. And, he's trying to get him a little something, 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 a little yum, yum. And she's like, absolutely not, sir. I just had a baby right there just a few minutes ago. No, it's not time yet. And he's like, okay. And he's like smiling, smiling. He gets up out of his marital bed, put on his joggers, and goes to the side chick house. That's right. He goes to the side chick house. As he goes to the side chick house, he tells her, he said, look, don't call me, don't text me unless it's about this child. Don't come to me for nothing. What you did is just crazy. Oh, and so he's like, look, I'm not leaving my wife. I'm not leaving her. So he's telling her he's not leaving his wife. And she's like flipping out like, do you want me to go kill that bee? And he's like, what? And she said, I'll do it. I'll go kill her. And he's like, absolutely not. So he's telling this woman all this stuff about what he's not going to do and all this kind of stuff. And she's still in her head like, you want me. You want me. After he tells this woman, I'm not messing with you like that, and I'm not leaving my wife for you, she goes ahead, gets on her knees, and gives him yum yum. That's right. Yes, she did. She gave him fellatio. If you don't know what that is, maybe you shouldn't be doing it. But yeah, that's what she did. She gave it to him. And so then he gets up, zips up, and leaves back to his home with his wife and his child by his wife. So as he's going back home, next thing you know, the side chick does something crazy again the next day. This time, the husband pulls up to the side chick's house. And as he goes to the side chick's house, he's like flipping out. Like, didn't I tell you, don't come to my house. Don't come near there. Don't come near my wife. Don't come near my family. Stay away from my family. The chick loses it. She takes the baby carriage and flips the baby carriage over. That's right. She flips the baby carriage over. And don't you know she puts this baby in the hospital. Her own child is in the hospital now. Baby's in the hospital and fighting for his life. The husband goes home and he's boo-hoo crying and he's saying a prayer in front of the door. The wife comes in. She's like, what's going on? What's going on? And as he's praying, he's basically low-key telling his wife he had an affair without being a man, putting his pants on and just really saying it. He's saying it in a prayer as she listens. And as he's saying it, he's saying, and I pray my wife has a forgiving spirit about her. What? Bruh. Come on. Yeah, he puts that in there as he's praying. You're telling your wife that you've been cheating with a woman who's in the congregation, and then you throw in there, I pray she has a forgiving spirit. That was wild stuff. I couldn't believe he said it, but he did. He did. Yes, he did. So next thing you know, the wife is like, I can't believe this. You got me looking like a complete fool. I can't believe you did this to me. And I don't blame her for feeling the way she does because, yeah, like you literally was cheating with somebody in the congregation. Everybody's going to know about it. And this baby is named after you. That's the insane part. Both your children who's born on the same day is now juniors or the thirds. That's what they are, the thirds. So he goes back, and he's like saying things, and she's like, don't want to undo him. So the baby's in the hospital. The girl gets put into like a mental facility because after the baby's in the hospital, she goes ahead and she cuts her. Maybe I shouldn't say that on here. I don't know. But she injures herself. Let's just say that. And her friend finds her and she gets put into a hospital, a hospital to get her help for her mental because she just was going. She started hearing voices and voices was talking to her. So as this is going on, the wife accepts that the husband had an affair and she takes on the role. They end up getting custody of the baby and she takes on the role of taking care of this child. That's right. That was big. That was big. So I'm applauding the wife for, taking care of a child who needs to be taken care of because the dad shout out, the mama shout out. Okay. So the wife is doing everything she can. As everything comes out into the open, next thing you know, the husband gets kicked out the congregation because they're like, oh, no, sir. No, sir. You were out here catting around doing everything you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to be the pastor of this church. So you're out of here. So they boot him, which I get. So he's feeling some type way because his friend who was warning him against his behavior and told him he needed to confide in his wife ended up taking over the church. So as this is going on, the husband is falling apart, falling to pieces, and he's like drinking excessively. Now he all of a sudden he's an alcoholic. The wife is taking care of all the kids by herself, because the husband is just basically losing it. The wife goes back to work. She's taking care of the kids, taking care of the household, and the husband is just crashing out, just straight up drunk at this point. So during this time, the wife is doing everything she can. The woman eventually gets out and she's, still shot out. She's not completely whole, you know what I mean? So she goes to the house and she's trying to find her child and everything, but she still don't have custody because she's going to court for child endangerment because, she put the baby in the hospital. The baby was fighting for his life for a while, for a minute. I ain't gonna say a long time because it don't tell you exactly how long. But it must have been long enough because the girl was in there, and I think the wife they show like almost like a year or so progression of the wife taking care of the baby, who was at the time a newborn. So yeah, I don't know how all that worked out. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So the husband's still going through this thing. The wife is trying to do what she got to do to survive. And as she's doing it, she's trying to hold everybody together. And so she goes to this cafe. As she's at the cafe, the husband's friends, he has 3 friends. I don't know if they besties or what, but he has 3 friends. So one of the husband friends come in, see the wife sitting there at work doing her little, on her little computer and in a cafe, just chilling, doing work, whatever. And he says, hey, how you doing? But you could tell how he was saying it and how he was looking at her. He was giving her that look like, yeah, that look. Yeah, that's what he was doing. So she's like low key. At first she wasn't noticing, but then she kind of noticing, and you can kind of see she giving him a little bit of energy. It was a little like, okay. And as she get up to walk away, she accidentally drops something. She bends over, picks it up, and a guy biting his lip like, The other friend is in there with him at this time, and he like, yo, that's Dana, that's bro's wife, don't do that. And he like, yeah, but bro, you see her, man, you see her. Another friend like, yeah, I see her, but that's still his wife. So next thing you know, you get to he's like coming over to the house. The friend, that's right. The friend come over to the house for the game. The husband, of course, still not cleaning himself up, not picking up himself or nothing. And he tells her, hey, I want to have a few buddies over. So the friends come over, and the wife is like, oh my goodness, I'm taking care of the kids. I'm working. I'm doing everything. Now my husband is drunk. And his friends came over here, and they made a complete mess. So she goes out and she starts cleaning everything up. So as she cleaning up, the other best friend, of course, he stayed behind. The husband's passed out. So he started pushing up on the wife. He pushing up on her hard too. So as she's pushing up on her, she's like, oh, I don't know. But, she really wasn't really trying to push him away like that. You can kind of tell, when you pushing somebody away. You put a little bit of bass in your voice and you like, yo, back up, bruh. But no, that's not what she was doing. She was like, no, oh, I don't know, my husband, da-da-da. And he was like, your husband, what? He had an affair. You think he said that to the old girl? No, he was all for it. So next thing you know, the dude starts using digits to pleasure her, okay? And while the husband passed out in the living room, that's right, they're 2 steps away in the kitchen, finger digits, okay? Crazy work. So after that, the husband is like, he wakes up. He wakes up as dude was ready to pull something out, and I guess she felt like the fingers wasn't enough. Yeah, so the husband wakes up at right before he was ready to actually go for it in the kitchen. So he backs up, and the wife is like, he's like looking like, well, what's going on? But the husband's so drunk, so foggy, he don't realize what's going on. He didn't see the tension or whatever. So the wife is like, oh, you gotta go. She tells the husband, could you go check on the boys? The husband goes and check on the boys. That's right. After the wife just got through with his best friend. Yes. So the best friend goes ahead and dips. But before he dips, he said, if you really interested, meet me at this restaurant. Little, I guess it's supposed to be like some little off the beaten restaurant type spot where people be hooking up at or whatever. So she's like, no, 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 no. She's saying all this stuff, but what does she do? She gets dressed the next day in her finery, okay, in her finest, and goes and see her husband's friend. That's right. Yes, she do. Meanwhile, his side chick, the pastor's side chick, she's still not all there. She's going back and forth, back and forth. Her mental is all over the place. She's like, he wants me, he loves me, he don't want me, he don't love me. She's going back and forth. So once she goes back and forth, you can just see the progression of how she's falling deeper, deeper, and deeper into psychosis. And it's starting to, hello, hello, hello. How are you? Hi, Felix. How are you today? So she falls deeper into her psychosis. So as she's falling deeper, you see that, her family is like trying to talk to her. Even doggone neighbors are trying to talk to her. And she's sitting here saying, should I end this neighbor? Should I this neighbor's life? Like all kind of crazy stuff. This is what's going through this woman's head. The only thing neighbor had asked was, are you okay? Because she was literally sitting outside talking to herself, and so that's why the neighbor was like concerned. She was like, yeah, I'm good. And the neighbor walks off and you see her like, looking weird or whatever. So back to the side, the husband, the wife and the side dude. So now they're constantly hooking up. The third friend tells the husband, the pastor, he says, bruh, you drinking too much, you need to chill, and you need to keep a close eye on your family. That's right. He's trying to clue him in, but the husband is so arrogant and so deep in that bottle, he doesn't hear what this man is saying. He's like, yo, you got your wife taking care of your baby, y'all new child, y'all 1-year-old, and your side baby. And you're not paying attention to your family. Give your family some attention. Oh yeah, it's a nice chair. It's comfortable too. So as he's saying this to him, the guy still just, I don't need no lecture. He's not listening to what the guy's saying. So, okay, yeah. So in the meantime, they're still going back and forth. So I think the husband starts getting the feeling of something going on with Dana because she's like really not there. She's really just, kind of absent. So eventually the husband creeps on the wife. The wife blows up. She leaves. The best friend comes over to the house, and as the wife is leaving out, and he's like, well, what's wrong? Next thing you know, the side dude leaves. The wife is out front of the side dude's house, his friend's house. And so he's telling her, I love you. I want us to be together. This man going all out for this woman. Okay. Which was really, really weird because she is married to your best friend right now. And it's just so weird. So, but anyways, he's sitting here letting her know he's all in. So they go in and she give him the yams. Okay. And the husband is peeking in. Now, mind you, he's crazy drunk. He peeking in the side screen door, and it's wide open. There's no curtain or nothing. And I'm just in here now. That part right there could have been cut on the editing floor because come on now, bruh. Like, ain't no way they didn't see. They looking at each other like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they getting busy. And I know you into it or whatever, but the man is literally standing 5 feet away, and he's standing in front of y'all screen just like this. And it's like not like he's hiding behind something. It was just so weird. That scene was really weird. I get that, they wanted him to catch them, but why not him peek in the window, for him to be like standing full on in front of the doggone screen like this was weird. I don't know. But okay. Now, whole time the babies was actually both the babies was actually, yeah, that was crazy. Both the babies are in the car at the time. So as the babies are in the car, he goes ahead and he drives off. Mind you, he's super drunk. Next thing you know, the wife's been getting calls all night. She fell asleep over the side dude's house. That's right. She fell asleep over the side dude's house. They wake up. She finds out that the husband is in the hospital and the babies are in there too because the husband got into a car accident. So she goes to the hospital and the husband's like, The side chick is sitting out in the hallway waiting for the husband to try to see if he's okay. Insane, insane. But she goes in, she checks on her husband, whatever, and the husband is just like, well, you too busy, had your legs wide open for da 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 da, for the side dude, for his best friend, which is crazy. And she was like, okay, it ain't no different than what you was doing with your side chick. So they all cheating at this point. So it's just real crazy. Everybody cheated. You a cheater, you a cheater, you cheater, everybody cheater. So it's just crazy. So the husband is sitting here like, well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gotta make a decision. And she's like, snatch away from him. And she's like, you know what? I'm done. Whatever. So the husband, so she tells the side dude, she was like, listen, I do want to work it out with my husband. I do want to work it out. We have a family. I can't leave my sons, because the wife, she's so invested in the other little boy that she said, I'm his mom. You know, and actually she kind of is, because she's the only mom that the little boy has ever known, because she's taken care of him since he was an infant. So I get what she's saying. So she says, I can't leave my sons. And she understands that if she goes ahead and go, she has no rights and no custody over the other little boy. So they'll probably end up taking the baby. So she's telling the guy this. The guy flips out. He's like, hawk type stuff. Like, and she's like, oh, hold on, bruh. Didn't know you got down like that. So then she goes ahead and she leaves. Oh, okay. So you must have came in late. So the side chick is a chick who was inside, because this is a pastor. So she was a girl who was inside the congregation. This is a movie. It's not real life. This is just a movie. It's a movie called The Affair. So the side chick is someone who was inside the congregation, who had her baby on the same day the wife had her baby. It's just so insane. The movie's called The Affair, and it's on Tubi. So after the doggone husband gets out, he goes and stays at a hotel. And so the side dude goes ahead and he calls the wife and he says, I'm so sorry. Oh, of course. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'll never do that again. I apologize. So she goes to the side dude's house because she forgives him. As she's at the side dude's house, this man proposes to her. Mind you, she's still married to his best friend. Yes, he proposes to her. And she's like, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. As this is going on, the husband, bam, kicks in the door and runs on in. So he goes ahead and he's arguing with a friend, and he tells his wife, he says, get your behind out of here. And he says some choice words, and she gets up and she go ahead and leave. She's like, oh, okay, I'll just go. So the side dude tries to get swole on the husband. The husband knocks him out. Okay, so he laid out on the floor, and so then he's sitting here saying, he calls his friend, he says, yo, I'm going ill, bro, talking about the pastor. And the other friend was like, what are you talking about? He's like, nah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take him out. And so he's like, why would you do that? So he's like, nah, I'm done. Because this dude is so sprung up on the doggone, the pastor's wife. He's talking about his best friend. Crazy. So then as he goes ahead and he's making plans, he's plotting, he goes ahead and follows the pastor back to the hotel that the pastor was staying at. The pastor's sitting there and goes in, and then lo and behold, who comes in? The pastor calls his insane, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but she has some serious mental issues because she was going through a whole bunch of stuff. And a lot has to do with the pastor. A lot of her issues had to do with the pastor because he was playing with her mental. He goes and called her to come over to drop off them yams, okay? And she did. She came there, she dropped off the yams, and he's in here lying to her, telling her, locked in. It's good. It was, well, you know what? I lock it in and decide what's good parts to kind of tell you guys what's the interesting parts. And that way you can decide if you want to go ahead and see it or not. You know what I mean? Because, you know, a lot of people kind of be like, I'm not sure about the Tubi movies. But some of them actually kind of valid, though. Some of the movies are actually pretty good. But the acting is not always on par. But the writing is okay. You know, Like, you think about it, like with Netflix and a lot of these other TV shows and everything where they have the movies, they play the same exact stuff and same exact scripts over and over again. So at least with Tubi, it'd be a little bit uniqueness to it, but okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm almost done. So just stay with me for a few more minutes, guys. So the guy, the side dude, he's sitting out front with a something with something to the guy, okay, to his best friend. So as he's sitting there, he's like sitting here looking what's going on, and he sees the side chick walk into the doggone pastor. Like I said, she came there, dropped off them yams, and the pastor's in here saying all kind of crazy stuff to her, like just, oh, we gonna move somewhere, you gonna be my new first wife. He's not even divorced from his from his actual first wife. He was like, you're going to be, you know, the first lady of our new church. We're going to go somewhere warm like California or Florida. And we're going to go ahead and find us a new church. And I'm going to be the pastor of the new church. And you're going to be the first lady of this church. And we're going to take our son and we're going to raise him together. I'm leaving her. I'm leaving her right now. So the woman, she locked in. She like, yeah. Because she was so just head over heels for this man that she's just eating it all up. But her health is still not there yet. Her mental health is not right yet. So the side dude outside, and I guess he figured, oh, if I tell her, she'll really leave him. He calls the actual wife and says, hey, your husband's here at the hotel. I'm sitting out front, and you will never believe who walked into your husband's room. Yeah, that's right. The side chick. She here right now. So he goes ahead. She comes, she shoots over there. She got her gym shoes laced up. She got joggers on. So you know she was coming up in there like meaning business. And even though she dealing with the side dude, it still didn't take away the fact that she is like raising the side chicks and her husband's child. Yeah, exactly. She came there ready. So I'm surprised she ain't had a Vaseline on her face. That's what I was looking for, but you know. Anyway, so as she goes ahead and get up in there, she goes ahead and busts into the she lies to one of the maids or whatever, say, oh, I like my key. I'm locked out. Can you let me in? So she lets her in. As she goes ahead and gets in, she's like, aha, yeah. Mind you, the chick like literally on top. Okay. As she goes ahead and does this, okay, whatever. Okay, so she's like on top of the husband, and what? Okay, yeah. So she's on top of the husband, and the wife is like, what's going on? This is it. I want to divorce this neck. The husband jumps up and he says, no, I want you. I want our family. I love you. She's saying all this in front of the side chick. Remember, this woman is not all there, right? He says all this. I want you. I love you. Let's make our family work. And so the side chick is flipping out. So next thing you know, the side chick pulls out a hammer. Okay. She pulls something out and she's like, oh no, say it to the woman. Bye. You have a good night. So then she says, no, tell her everything you said to me. Tell her right now. And so then he starts telling her, she said, tell her or I'm going this woman right now. So you tell her you leaving her. We moving to Florida. I'm going to be your first lady of the new church. And he's like, do it now or I'm going to take her life right this second. So next thing you know, he says it to her. He's like, oh, yeah, I don't want you no more. We're getting divorced, whatever, because he's trying to protect his wife. So as the wife getting ready to leave, the wife turns around and she said, if you want a divorce, fine, go ahead and divorce. And you and this, she said the C word, the crazy B, C and B, yeah. And she said, and as she said that, that's when the side chick, the wife, that's right, she took her out. Next thing you know, the husband flipped out and he turned around and he was like saying something smart to her. He was like, you be you kid, I love her, I never loved you. And then that's what he's saying. He's flipping out. Next thing you know, he goes ahead and the husband, she right in the chest. Okay, so now that's two people. Okay, but the husband is not completely dead, but she think he dead. So then the side chick sits on the bed and she Herself. Yep, that's 3. Okay. Now, like I said, the husband I completely did. But the side dude is sitting outside and he hear pop, pop, pop. So he comes running in with his hammer. Okay. So as he come in, he's like, oh my goodness. And he sees the woman he loves laid out on the floor, done. She's gone. You know what I mean? This isn't, she's gone. So he's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And next thing you know, you hear the husband, the pastor says, bruh, help me. And so his ex-best friend who was in love with his wife said, you think I care about you dying, B? Die, B. That's what he said. Yeah. So then the side dude, this scene right here blew my head because I'm like, this is ridiculous. Now, mind you, the side dude came in with the hammer, laid the hammer on the ground, and go into the bathroom and he washed his hands. Who lays their hammer on the ground? Like, that just makes no sense. That part made no sense right there. You know what I mean? Most people, I know you're emotional, whatever. You might put it up somewhere, whatever, but you're not just going to lay it down randomly, whatever. And then the husband he goes wash his hands. After he washed his hands, he comes back out. As the side dude comes out, the husband's to the side dude, and the side dude, so that's 4. So all 4 of them laid out in a hotel room, gone. That's it. All of them, finito. And that was the end of the movie. And it was interesting, like I said, to say the least, because it was so many, like all 4 of them gone in the hotel room. Like, you know, it was sad because it just kind of showed what it's like when people are all committing adultery, committing affairs, and how bad things can turn, because it turned bad because everyone who was committing an affair, all of them was at the end of the movie. It was wild. It was wild. But that was a Tubi movie, and it's called The Affair, and it was made in 2003, and it is 1 hour and 33 minutes long, and it's starring Donald Brumsfield Jr., Deborah Lane Spencer, Sarah Evault, and Sydney Janae. So it wasn't a bad movie. I would honestly say if you ever have an opportunity to check out the Tubi movie, I would say go ahead and check this one out, because the acting wasn't bad for Tubi. You know what I mean? It wasn't as bad as some of the other Tubi movies acting is. Actually, the acting was okay, but the dynamics of it was wild, because it blew my mind. The affairs blew my mind because people were so blatant and upfront with the affairs. It was just wild. Like, everybody just cheating all around. It was crazy. But that is the end of my review of The Affair Tubi movie. Thank you for joining me tonight for this live, and I